Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chop Talk. I am your co-host Undersea right over here. It's the Astrid loving princess herself. It's Melball. How you doing, Melball?
I am doing great, Andre. I do love my Astrid. You can get her shirt on For You Wear. We'll leave a link in the description box below. I had to wear it to shout out my girl. She's going to be busy this week, just like you are. All these WrestleMania things going on that we've got going on at OLE. So crazy.
Oh yeah, this
Oh.
this week's gonna be just crazy. So we have this
Mhm.
show, we have Chop Talk coming. This one we have finally going to get the finals of the Cinderella tournament out to talk to you all about that. That'll be out within the next day or so. We've got another Shop Talk coming at you on Wednesday for the RCW show you went to.
Mhm.
Friday, we've got Japanese Wrestling Update on OLE / the Stardom Review and everything. It's all going to go. It's going to go everywhere to Sunday's main event and all of it. It's all going to be everywhere because that we're going to be talking talk a little bit of news, and then we're going to talk Stardom from Thursday in Philly, and also series match at the GCW show. Lots and lots and lots to talk about. And then Saturday
So much
preview
to talk.
shows and review shows, and Sunday same thing. So lots and lots and lots of content coming out this next week. Mel's avoiding a lot of
Mhm.
it, but I'm diving headfirst in for Mania weekend.
Avoiding a lot of it. I'm avoiding a lot of it on camera. I am not avoiding the chaos because
That's
whose
true.
house is everybody coming to for
Whose
all of this shit?
house? Mel's
My
house.
house.
Yeah.
Everyone's coming to my house for these parties and pay-per-views and everything. So it's like
Hey, you
she's
wanted
got a
that.
sick cat right now. So it's like
Hey,
it's
you
gonna
didn't.
be busy.
Hey, you offered. We were talking about we were going to do this, and Andrea said, "Hey, we can do it at my place," and you're like, "No, we'll do it at my place." So
Because then everyone has a seat at my
it's true. It's very true. Love you, Andreas, but you have a very small apartment, dude.
I also have 3 bathrooms. It
Yeah.
serves its purpose. You know. We
Let's hope
always have
somebody
some
doesn't
kind
wreck
of
your bath.
keys.
Let's hope somebody doesn't wreck your bathroom this time. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was the other. It was the other
No one
Andre.
wrecked my bathroom. My bathroom is very happy. Let's get into it, man. We are 3 minutes in. We're talking about bathrooms.
Yeah, bathrooms all day. So we're here to talk.
No.
This is Chop Talk, where we talk the local independent wrestling scene. For all those you guys tuning in on Sunday night's main event from the Patreon, thank you so very much. There's a special edition coming out over there because these 2 shows we're about to talk about feature Mike Bailey, Nicole Matthews, Alan Angels, and Artemis Spencer coming in for incredible 2 days of shows. So we're going to talk about all that. It has a ladder match on it. It's a lot of great stuff coming off both these shows. Thank you guys if you're tuning in to SME Radio. Thank you for tuning in, and if you're watching the video on either Audrey Melba Wrestling Talk or Back Regular Video, thank you for all the great support on the YouTube channel. Thank you so very, very much. We are gonna get into this. We're starting it off LPWX CWS or CWS. That's right. I said it right. 12. It's the 1 year anniversary of the LPWX CWS shows, and we're going to kick it off from Thursday, March 28th, as I said on the screen there. We kicked it off with a tag team match. It is your LPW Grand Champion with his brand new title belt, Michael Richard Blais, teaming up with one half of the tag team champions, Taryn from accounting, taking on the returning from Japan from Marvelous and Sendai Girls. It's Gigi Ray teaming up with the new LPW Scramble champion, T.Y. Jackson. Sorry. That's right. Again, really good match back and forth. Everybody just go like they're just brawling from the start. Ty and Gigi get Blais and Taryn to the floor on opposite sides. Ty hits a tope to Blais on the floor, while Gigi hits a suicide dive to Taryn on the other side. Just mass chaos. They get MRB in the ring. Gigi hits this like corkscrew senton off the top. Looked awesome. To MRB, and then Ty hits 450, and Gigi can only get a 2 there. Just a lot of MRB doing these like multiple tilt-a-whirl backbreakers and turns it into inverted edge, which he tosses Gigi off into a TFA cutter. Like great little combo there.
Mm-hmm.
Just TFA swinging Gigi out of the ropes and just plants her down with this like knee drop like to her ass, driving her head right into the mat. It looked really.
Mm-hmm.
It looked weird, but it looked like she kind of crushed her head on the mat. I was like, "Ooh, that looked like it."
Mm-hmm.
Gigi slips out of a razor's edge cutter again. Head scissors MRB into her tornado DDT on and hits a tornado DDT on a TFA, and then she gets a spike Rana to MRB out of the ropes. I love that spike Rana out of the ropes. It looks really good. TY like a house on fire, just killing everybody. Gets MRB up, hits a Spanish fly, but TFA breaks the pin up. TFA tosses out Gigi, hits TY with the Shining Wizard, but and pulls Blais on top of him, but he only gets 2. Yeah, just crazy back and forth throughout this match. The nice suplex crossbody combo by Gigi and TY for 2. They're all 4 trading strikes. In Clandestine Society drops Gigi and TY. TY ends up, or Blais ends up going to the top. TY kicks him up top, and they do it. Okay, that spot I totally messed that up. My writing does not make sense there. In the end, though, TY pops Gigi up onto Blais, and she dragon Rana's him. I think it was like off the top or something into a pin, but Blais then rolls through, and then TFA stacks her in a pin, and then pulls the tights and gets the win. Again, it was just a crazy, chaotic finish. Nobody didn't know who was the legal people, so I think the ref just like it's a pinfall and counting it at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a pretty solid opener. I mean, there's so much quote via so much money in the ring. Everyone but Gigi had a title, but Gigi's money, right? So, it's nice to see Gigi back. She's so fracking fast, though. I have something to say about that in the later part of
When he talks
the
about the Friday
MPW.
show.
Yeah, because it was almost a little detrimental to her on the second night, and I think a little bit detrimental here also, because she's so fast, and she's used to keeping up with the Japanese right now, because she did, as you mentioned, come back from Japan. We ain't that fast here. Don't know if she noticed that or remembered that, but we ain't so fast here.
Some
Love
people
seeing
are, but
TY.
some people are, but a lot of people are.
Hmm.
She just, I don't know, when you, especially after doing Japan, you tend to like really speed up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
TY again, personal favorite. I miss Necklace, but I don't mind the new music. I'm very happy that he's the Scramble champion now. It's nice to see him with some gold on his waist again after losing the King of the Triple Threats there in Top Talent. I think the crowd was chanting TY's our champ. Rightfully he is. Speaking of the title belts, I think I mentioned it before. Michael's new belt, I actually kind of dig it. Very much reminds me of like a classic intercontinental title with like a modern day twist on it. I kind of dig it. More so than the penny. Just not a fan
Yeah.
of the penny. Yeah, the one thing I want to say that I was a little disappointed with is when they were doing that strike off. I felt that that was the moment where they were supposed to be hyping the match up a little bit, because that was when it was kind of winding into the finish. Tia and Michael, I mean, these guys are both super quick, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I felt that the girls weren't quite as quick. And I feel like maybe this is why the speed for Gigi was a little bit of a detriment to her in this, because Taryn was taking a while to fire up and hit back. But like Michael and TY could get 3 or 4 hits in on each other before Taryn was hitting Gigi, and Gigi was usually waiting for it. So there's just kind of like a little bit of a misadaptability happening there. Otherwise, super solid match. Really great opener. Really great way to set up for the rest of the show.
Yeah. Again, solid opener. Everybody like did quite well, and yeah, there's You see some
Mhm.
missteps in every match, but again, I really quite enjoy this one.
Oh yeah, well the missteps make it organic.
Oh,
Like if
100%.
it's too constructed, it feels fake. Whereas like these little missteps, the little things, as I said, they keep it organic, they keep it real in some fantasy realm thing. You know what I mean.
Yeah,
Their job is to suspend my reality.
we still believe. We still believe. we
Well, like if
move
the
on.
wrestling's good enough, it happens, right?
So
You gotta do it.
actually, for two of these matches, they didn't have any match cards, so I made my own, and I think I did pretty well in my first
You
match
did
card that I
this?
made. Well, I used like a build one. I had to like move words around and stuff, and a couple of them I had to like black out. I had to black out other ones to fit and like put pictures
It
in, but
works.
I made it work.
Looks
I
great.
made it work. Yeah.
Looks great.
So we have Zoe Sager taking on Jack Pride, and it's Jack and not Pride in this match. It's the good guy.
Mhm.
It's the happy-go-lucky Jack versus the
Mhm.
intangible, the little bit sour Zoe Sager. Again, that's who she is. She's
Oh, jeez.
she's sour. Zoe getting the batter of Jack early on. He gets a shoulder block to Zoe to eventually take over. Um, I love that leapfrog over the back and then spinning into the forearm that he does. And then he did like I can only describe as the moonlight, like Johnny Nitro's moonlight drive. Where he grabs the neck and you flip over, neck breaker, like corkscrew neck breaker kind of combo there. That's the best I can describe it. Uh, yeah. And then Zoe ends up rolling out, and Pride hits a very nice but aggressive plancha.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Zoe getting those, like, she got some nasty punches on her when she had Pride in the corner and just go into the body with those punches. She got some solid strikes there.
Mhm.
And then Jack fights back eventually, drop kicks Zoe right in the face, just right in the face, man. Uh, it just looked. Oh, Jack tries to slide through her legs at one point, but she gets his hair, pulls him back up, knees him in the face. She hits some kicks, and then she hits, as I like to call it, the Zoe is evil. And then a seated drop kick and a sliding elbow for two. Well, it is. It's everything is evil. It's what she does. It's
It
that
doesn't
grabs.
care, yeah.
That's it. Zoe is evil.
It is.
Zach pushes Zoe off the top, but misses with a stomp. But ends up hitting that. It's almost like it's that running, like almost Buseku knee style, but it's with the boot. It's the boot instead. Yeah, it
Mhm.
just cracked her in the face for two. Jack gets a dragon sleeper on, but Zoe grabs at his hair and like pulls at his hair, and he has to let go. Zoe ends up hitting that haluva kick in the corner, then hits a Z Factor for the win. Again, really good match, man. These two
Mhm.
just flow so well.
Yeah, I mean, they've been working together at Clandestine a hot minute, though. I would be
Mhm.
disappointed if that was not the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add to this one. You kind of got everything that I kind of remember and then some. Um, yeah, Zoe's a very solid in-ring wrestler, as we've mentioned many times in the past. His attitude sucks. It was nice to see Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Said Pride. Haven't seen him in a hot minute. And I see a different persona of his. Interesting that he can come out with those two characters and just play them so well, and how it does slightly impact and change the style in which he wrestles, and he doesn't forget. Some people forget what they're doing throughout a match, and if they're like doing a masked thing, they'll start doing the moves of the person that they know that they are or whatever. He didn't do that. There was a subtle change in the way he wrestled. I really, really enjoy how that character kind of developed. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's vicious, but he doesn't seem as vicious. And like, yeah, he uses a lot. It's the same moveset in reality, but it's the
Mhm.
way he does it, the way he goes into things, the more playful nature of how he does a lot of things when
Mhm.
it's Jack versus the viciousness and the sadistic nature of Pride. It's
Exactly.
I love those
And I
different.
feel that it worked very, very well with this match because she's supposed to be the heel, right?
Oh, she's the eternal bad guy for sure.
For sure. But yeah, it worked out really, really well. I feel that playfulness with her aggressiveness kind of worked out nicely. It was almost like watching like a live action of what's probably happening in his head.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So we move on. It's the Canadian Goose, Kyle Shaw, taking on this Thickness, Reid Matthews. Thickness, he gets dropped early, but he drops Goose early, but Goose fights back. Again, good back and forth early. Goose sends Thickness to the floor, but he gets cut off on the dive, and this is where Thickness just beats the holy piss out of Goose, man. Just beats the piss out of him. Thickness is working him over, but Goose fights back with those headbutts, and then it starts hitting the wings to the head, just bang bang elbows, those bionic elbows down. I like to call them the wings to the head. Then he hits the head scissors into the Russian leg sweep. Great spot there. Goose ends up faking Thickness out Shingo Takagi style and gets the DDT.
Yes. I marked out for that a little too much, but I don't care because it's Goose.
Again, we're like, oh, Shingo him, nice. We were all four, both you, me, and even Nathan realized what it was too. We were all just like, yeah. Nathan is he's actually a big Japanese wrestling fan too. Thickness catches a high cross, and it swings him around into this massive power slam for 2. Goose ends up stopping a Blue Thunder Bomb, but Thickness gets him with this sick ass thick trigger and just brains him with it. Goose kicks out of that 2.99999 right there, like you barely kicked out. Goose ducks a forearm, gets a roller for 2. Then Thickness comes back, rolling forearm, picks him up, blew a Thunder Bomb for the win. Mel looks very confused.
I just heard a really, really loud noise, and I'm just hoping that it's not my problem.
Let's hope.
I really hope it's not my problem. I love seeing Goose. Man, is the crowd behind him too, honking away. I mean, we were too. But man,
I was booing him. I was booing him on the show.
You honked him initially when he
during
came
his
out, but
entrance.
but you booed him the rest of the match. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, we are team Thick. We really like the Thickness. It's hard not to be behind Thickness when he's coming into this undefeated, right? And then going into his match the next night with Alan Angels, I mean, what momentum he had. But as soon as I realized that Thickness was going against Goose, I was like, God damn it, no. Think of the children. It was a great match, though. Goose is doing so good. He's getting better and better and better and better and happier and happier and happier. Like, seeing him team with Wolfboy has been, I think, the greatest joy of my life right now.
And this is another graphic I ended up. Thickness had released a thing with just 2 pictures of him on each side, so I edited Kyle into this one. Yeah, made it work.
Good job, my friend. You're getting better and better.
Better and better. We move on to what was my biggest attraction for this show. It was Speedball Mike Bailey versus Nicole Matthews. First time ever. East versus West. Vancouver versus Quebec. Again, the French versus the English, whatever you want to say here. Again, this, I was so excited going to this, so I might have a lot here. Great, like the transitions early on, these two just reversing each other, just getting in and out of each other's moves, so good. All the roll-ups and everything, just so good. Nicole Matthews getting a Euro clutch early, the European clutch early on, get that pin for 2. Sabres Euro clutch. Bailey with the speedball kicks and hits his head kick, sending her out. And then it does this wrecking ball drop kick through the ropes, just booting her into the chairs. Just so good.
Was that where she hit the chair and slid?
Yes.
She slid into the 3rd row.
Yeah, again, great. They're on the floor. He works the arm, running her into the post to damage the shoulder. She does come back with some solid gunshot-like chops, but he does attack the arm.
Nasty, yeah.
Yeah. Bailey puts her across the ropes and come like hanging across the ropes. It comes off with double knees to the back.
Mhm.
He then gets a hammer lock, and then he gets the other arm and goes penta style and does that like drop back arm snap, and you're just like, oh, like
I
it's
think that
just
was the clip that I actually got because both you and Nathan and Andreas were all like, "Damn!"
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, he works the arm over for a bit. Nicole fights back as she can with some solid forearms. Beautiful Northern Lights suplex for two by Nicole Matthews at one point. Bailey gets her down, drops the double knees on the arm. You're like, oh, Jesus. And then hits a running shooting star press for two. Um, Bailey just raining down strikes, pulls the armbar, but she stacks him and then stacks him up, reverses into what was essentially the label lock, but she was going for the cravat hold. It was like the inverted twist, but
Mhm.
Bailey gets his foot on the ropes before she can get the cravat locked in. Yeah, it was just like, it was the transitions and everything they were doing, man. It was so good. Bailey hits this hard kick to the face. Then Nicole comes back with the forearm, sending Bailey out, and she hits the suicide dive. Uh, Bailey boots Nicole off the apron, hits like when she's coming in, and hits that triangle drop kick from inside to out of the ring. From he'll springboard off the second rope near the corner, then go over the top rope onto Nicole on the floor. Just crazy.
So
Uh,
good.
a triangle moonsault. I apologize. I said that wrong. Triangle moonsault to the floor. I apologize. Not triangle drop kick. Triangle moonsault. I wrote that down wrong. They're trading chest kicks on the apron. Nicole hits a few, and they're almost like kicking the fans while doing this. It was hilarious because the fans were like trying to keep out of the way, but they're almost getting kicked. It's crazy.
Mm.
Yeah, Bailey sweeps her down.
This
But
was the night where the couple, those friends, they were crammed up against the stage and just hugging each other for dear life. It was
yeah,
hilarious.
trying not to get kicked. It was great. He
Trying
ends
not
up
to get kicked.
Yeah, he got the sweep on the apron, knocking her down onto the apron. Goes for the moonsault double knees, but she gets out of the way. Man, his knees are going to be so messed up in a few years, man. I'm glad at least he's wearing protective padding, but that's going to be rough, dude.
Mhm.
Top rope drop kick by Bailey at one point. Gets a shotgun drop kick into the corner. Hits a haluva kick. He gets her up, goes for the flamingo driver, but she fights it off. He hits a kick. He goes up to the top with her, but she slips out, crouches up top. She goes up. This is the scariest spot of this match. She goes up, hooks her legs, and as she does, same thing. Marz does it too when he's doing his spider suplex. She gets him in the
Mhm.
spider suplex, goes back. His foot, like his kick pad, got caught on the top turnbuckle, and he comes crashing down on his head while his foot's still stuck up top. She's bent over backwards with him on top of her. So the ref's running
Mhm.
over, trying to get the kick pad out of the turnbuckle, gets him released, and you heard a yelp from Bailey, like after
Mhm.
when he went over, and I was like, oh my god, please don't. Please, and I was scared he broke his ankle or something with the way he caught.
Mhm.
I think he was okay because he worked the next night.
Mhm.
But holy crap! And then she's stuck. So the ref has, and as he's checking on Bailey, make sure his ankle he's not hurt. He's like, and people are yelling to help Nicole because Nicole's like stuck because she went back for she was down for something, she couldn't get back up. So he goes there to unhook her feet so she can get down. It was crazy, and she ended up
Good
like
job, Ben.
when he unhooked her, she like put her hands down and like went into like a half moonsault. Like she came like splashing down on Bailey. It was actually pretty
Yeah.
funny. Um, yeah, but again, I was so worried at that spot. But again, they were oh oh my god. Um, yeah, Nicole hits a brainbuster, but Bailey kicks out at 2.9. They trading forearms. Just she gets the cravat on and starts just kneeing Bailey in the head. Oh, it was
Mhm.
just so good. It's it's so good. She kicks Bailey, dropping him, and then it's this awesome buzzsaw kick to the head. Um, Bailey gets her up top. He fights back, gets her up top. Hits the flamingo driver. We all think it's over. She kicks out at that last possible millisecond. He gets on the second rope, misses the ultimate weapon and crashes knees first into the mat again. She tries to roll him into a submission, but he gets the armbar. Then they start trading roll-ups, and then he pops out, but he misses the moonsault knees. So this is where she gets the cravat label lock on, but then he flips her over, stacks her up while still in the hold. 1, 2, 3, and Mike Bailey pins Nicole Matthews in like, this is right now probably at the top of my list for indie matches of the year right now, that I like, of the ones I'm gonna watch. Like, it's gonna be hard to top, man.
Yeah. I mean, two tremendous freaking talents, and they were just savage with each other. Like, there was no pull. No pull. This was all 100 go, and I loved it. I think I said it last time when we talked about the last Mike Bailey match when he was in LPW. It's so cool seeing all the moves, like one hand on screen, but then seeing them in front of you. It's like such an experience and feeling to have. So thank you, Spencer, for making this happen for us again.
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think that I could add anything to this. You've gotten, I feel like I just got a play-by-play of the match, like the whole
Close to.
match.
Close to.
This is a banger. This was so good. This was actually my first time, I think, seeing Matthews. That's all.
Yeah, because you only started coming, what,
June last year.
June last year, and she hadn't been here since before that. So yeah, this would have.
Mhm.
I've seen her a couple times. I got to see her years ago in RCW, and I've seen her a couple times so far here in LPW. This is our second time seeing Bailey. She was
Mhm.
here last September with Blais, and then coming back here
Mhm.
again. Just, and I know at least one more tease in the future for LPW, and I know Spencer's got so much more, and I already know one person. He already teased me in one of them. So again, so much more to come. I can't
Okay.
say, but so much more to come. I'll tell you off screen. No, I can't. Sorry.
Okay, first of all, why'd you have to go ahead and say that? Because now our viewers are gonna think you're a dick.
I can't. He swore me to secrecy. I can't. He can't until he announces. I can't say
Well
anything.
then, keep it a secret. Now it's out. Now you're busted.
I'm not
Now
saying.
what are you
I'm
gonna
not saying
do?
it's either. Oh, it's neither of these people. Just somebody big coming. There's still so much more big things coming
Okay.
this year. Is what I'm saying. And this was huge.
Anyway, back to what I was saying before you went off on that big fracking unnecessary tangent of revealing secrets without revealing secrets. This is my first time seeing Nicole Matthews live, and it was phenomenal. I'd seen some clips of her online. I'd seen, I think, a few tag matches with her online with a few like other people who I was interested in seeing in their travels. And yeah, she got a fan out of me this night. Holy hecking crap. And then the next night too. Holy shit, that was just a step up. Great
Mm,
match.
yeah, absolutely incredible. And then we move
Mhm,
on to this isn't even the main event. The main event is a ladder match for this Clandestine Wrestling Society Championship of Salvation. It's
mhm.
Steven Crowe defending the title against Marz the Specialist. And Jesus Christ, like, this was
Yeah.
just, they were just beating the, again, this is a beat the piss at each other match. Um, just crazy stuff. Crow off the top with a flying knee to Marz at one point, just cracking him in the head. Uh, Crows ends up running Marz into the wall when they're fighting on the stage with the ladder. And it was like a foot sound, and it was like, oh, I think we all
Mhm,
reacted like, oh god, yeah, it was,
mhm,
yeah, man. There was a swinging face, like from here swinging into the face buster by Crow to Marz right onto
mhm,
the ladder. Ugh, just gross. Crow. They're going back and forth. There's a, yeah. Just, I have so much here, but I'm trying to skip certain small parts. But like, they're fighting on the ladder, getting slammed on the ladder throughout. Um, Got it? Do you have something you want to say?
no,
Okay. Crowe tries to run on Marz coming off the ladder. He's jumping off the ladder, but he's caught and he gets power bombed onto the ladder in the corner. The one set up on an angle in the corner. And then they end up fighting up the top of the ladder, and Crowe sunset flips Marz off the top, like off the second or third to top rung of a 10-foot ladder to the mat, just like sunset power bomb. Just crazy, man. Crowe puts Marz across the ladder, hits a senton to Marz on the ladder. Just doing pretty much everything you could imagine with the ladder at this point. Marz superplexes Crowe off of one ladder, just missing the other ladder, or off the top rope, sorry, just missing the ladder that's laying in the ring. They just, Marz's leg hit it, but Crowe thankfully missed it by like a hair. They do the spot you see in every ladder match where Crowe pushes the ladder while Marz is on top and he goes crashing into the corner. That is a staple of if you don't have that in a ladder match, it's not a ladder match. I think
that didn't happen. Did the ladder match actually happen?
It's true. It's just so much crazy stuff.
Glorious chaos.
Glorious chaos, man. Just so again, I'm just trying to go. Crowe on the back of Marz. Marz climbs up with him, so Crowe poison Ranas him off the ladder. Just just crazy stuff. Yeah, I'm just trying to look at some of the more. I'm trying to skip over small stuff, but the chair gets brought in by Crowe, and he just ends up hitting Marz in the butt first off.
Yeah.
And then he beats the piss out of him with the chair after, just continuing the chair shots on the mat. Great spot where Crowe did the sliding forearm to the back, and then he gets the chair, and there's like a sliding forearm setting Marz into it, or gets he's sliding forearm to the back, and he sends Marz slamming into a chair. It was a really good spot. Crowe sets the ladder up on the mat sideways, gets the double underhook backbreaker onto like a ladder up on its side. That looked brutal. Yeah. At the end of fighting, Marz hits Crowe the ladder while he's on a ladder 3 times. The two ladders get set up beside each other. They brawl on the they're both on the ladders. Marz gets Crowe on his shoulders and hits a TKO off the ladder to the mat. Marz climbs back up, unhooks the belt, and your new Clandestine Wrestling Society Champion of Salvation is Sevens, Marz the Specialist. Holy crap, that was a good match.
Yes. I actually really, really enjoy Crowe's singles matches. This match was insane. I didn't realize, I know he's done some crazy-ish. I didn't realize he, did this crazy-ish so much and so well. Been a long time since I've seen a very solid ladder match that didn't, gross me out. This was a pleasant surprise, because remember that for me, the ladder match I go to is the most recent one we saw, which was that freaking brawl, United Empire and Bullet Club, where Gabe Kidd is spinning with a crimson mask with a ladder on his head. That's just
the dog collar cage thing.
The dog whatever. The dog pound, the diggity dog. I don't know. I also just want to comment that at the belt, the Clandestine Society belt, I love it. Shaped like that Ouija board planchette. I like that creepy shit. I can't really add a whole lot to this, except for I just really liked how these guys made all of this work, because it was chaotic, but it was a very organized chaotic. They all knew where the ladders were at all times. They knew where everything else was. So even though the audience was sitting there whoa, they were very aware of what was happening, and that kind of experience showed for both of these guys. I liked how they were doing the subtle things where when they were wanting to take a little bit of a breather, and they were just slamming each other's hands in the ladders and stuff, and just doing Just general silly stuff that you would do with
But
ladders, just to take that little breather.
is that really a breather though? You're in pain now with your hands smashed in a
I
ladder.
mean, you're
Oh,
not moving though, right? That's the point.
yeah.
The breather is so you breathe. If you're crying, that's a you problem.
Yeah,
But yeah,
when Marz
yeah,
smashed, like slammed the ladder, like get the hands in between the ladder, I was like, oh god.
yeah,
I think everybody knows how that
yeah.
feels. Anybody that's held a ladder knows how that feels.
Yes, yes, we do. No bueno.
No
Very,
way.
very solid match. Great, great main event. Congratulations to Mars winning that title.
Oh heck yeah! And again, this now he either has to defend it. Essentially, he has to choose to defend it every month, or he can cash it in on it and gets a shot at the LPW Grand Championship on an LPW one of the LPW shows. So that's what this title is.
Ooh,
I had a feeling that
interesting.
Crowe wouldn't be cashing in as long as his leader and brother MRB was champion. Because again, it's not. It just doesn't seem he's going to screw his own brother over. You know what I mean? So again, now Marz is a potential challenger for Michael
Um,
Richard Blais here. So
I mean, look at the history of brothers within professional wrestling.
mm,
It gonna happen at some point, but when it
oh,
does, you better believe it's gonna be one hell of a story.
I just think it not at this point. He's not going to screw his brother over yet. But yeah,
I mean, we don't know when it's coming. That's the point.
that's very true. So that was it for the Thursday night show that we were at
Yeah.
LPW X Clarendon Wrestling Society 12. Again, an absolutely incredible night of wrestling to be at. I had so much fun with it at this one, and I had even more fun the next night at LPW 2020 24 hours to go. Playoff on, obviously, the song 2020 24 hours to go. Wanna be sedated. The Ramones. But yeah, again, absolutely wonderful show. So this show on it has Mike Bailey taking on Zoe Sager. You have Nicole Matthews and Artemis Spencer taking on Ride or Die for the tag titles, and also Bailey's going after the LPW Challenge Championship. You have Alan Angels facing off against the Thickness Reid Matthews, and then on commentary, if you can go over to IWTV, Independent Wrestling Television TV, check them out if you want to hear with the show with commentary. Veda Scott on the commentary booth with our boy Dash and Boris. So again, I'm looking forward to hearing that. And again, Spencer is teasing. I know for the Thursday night show, he put it out. If he gets a certain amount of retweets of a post he put out, he's of the poster for the Nicole Matthews and Mike Bailey match. He'll post the match for free online if he gets enough engagement. So I shared it out. Go share that. I want to rewatch that match. It was amazing.
It's fair. That's totally fair. Go
Mm-hmm.
retweet that dish.
Yeah, so Friday, March 29th, we were at the Rec Room South Comment again for LPW 2020 hours to go. And we kicked it off with a big match. It was Alan Angels taking on the Thickness, Reid Matthews in the opening match. This show got started with a hot match. They working over each other's arms early on. Angels getting roll-ups. Angels working over Thick, but Thickness comes back, sends Angels to the floor. I literally, in the spots, I have angles in here because my phone defaults to angle.
We had the same problem with mine and Harlan, like fixing it to harmony. So,
Harmony Abbott.
mm,
Angels ends up sweeping him on the apron, but Thickness boots Angels into like he sweeps him down from the outside, and he goes to pull him up, but Thickness just rears up and just boots Angels. He's sending him into the chairs after the crowd get out of the way. Angel stops the apron, stops the Blue Thunderbomb on the apron, but he gets an enziguri, hits a flip off the apron onto Thickness on the floor. He gets Thickness back in and does that slingshot style drop kick out of the ropes to Angels or to Thickness for 2. Thickness
mhm.
reverses the head scissors into this like sick looking power slam for 2. Thickness whips Angels into the corner very hard. I heard a weird pop in there, and I was like, I thought the turnbuckle came. I thought the the buckle was going to come off without Artie threw him into the corner. So there's this
Yeah.
weird pop. I was like, oh God, no, don't let the rope break him. But it was fine. I was like, oh, thank Christ. I was actually a little scared there. But I heard that weird, that sound. It was really weird. You go, yeah, just so much great stuff. Angels gets a double stomp, and then it hits a second rope moonsault, but only gets two. Thickness dodges a roundhouse, hits the hard forearm to the face, hits the seismic toss, which we love that. Bell shared that in a story. But Angels kicks out at 2.99. Thick starts unloading on Angels on the mat. He puts Angels up top. They almost fall off with Thickness trying to hit the superplex. And they keep brawling. Angels knocks Thickness off, hits the frog splash, but Thickness kicks out at 2.999. Angels transitions into the double arm bar, but Thickness ends up stands up in the double arm bar and works him onto his shoulders and hits the swing out into that swinging around into the spine buster. Just looked great. And then Thickness didn't even go for the pin. He just kind of rolled off him, needing a breather there after the sequence they did. They're trading just the trading strikes to center were great. Angels gets his own discus forearm, but Thickness comes back with this inside out clothesline. Just Angels going flipping through the air. It's crazy. Angels reverses the Blue Thunder Bomb into a roll up for two. Thickness ends up catching Angels coming off the slingshot attempt into the dropkick and turns it into the Blue Thunder Bomb, but Angels kicks out of that 2.99999. Thickness goes up to the top, which we don't see him do a lot.
No.
Misses the moonsault. Angels hits a kick, goes for the Angels wings. Thickness just drops his weight. You can't get him up, so he lets go, kicks him again, hooks the double underhook up. Beautiful version of the Angels wings, and Alan Angels gets the 1, the 2, and the 3. The undefeated Thickness Reid Matthews has been beaten.
Why?
Ugh.
Oh, but what a match. What a way to open the show, too. Usually we see that, roller coaster style, slow build to the top and then boom, and everything starts. But, if y'all know roller coasters, this was like the Incredible Hulk at frickin' Universal Studios. It shot us out of the barrel of a gun at 100 kilometers an hour. My God.
We just had a situation, ladies and gentlemen. So we're back. Melball, keep going.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. So roller coaster. This was amazing. This was a great way to start the show. I was sitting there like, holy hecking crap. Start off with one of the best matches. How do you follow up? Well, let's tell you how they followed up.
Yeah, let's get into the follow-up. And the follow-up. Pardon?
No, I just said this was great.
Oh, yeah, it was great. The follow-up is 7. Jack Pride and the new clandestine wrestling champion of Salvation, Marz The Specialist, and Jack Pride taking on the Zoo World Order. It's Wolfboy, Will Mantla, and the Canadian Goose, Kyle Shaw. Honky, I guess. But go Marz.
You were honking.
Go Marz. I'm always saying go Marz. I'm a big fan of Marz. So, yes, again, Wolfboy and Marz had a really good opening, working around, trading pinfalls early on. I thought they were a really nice, smooth in. Pride coming in, and he shoves Will Mantla in the corner and telling him to tag Goose in. He's like, no, I want to beat up on the Goose. Pride's just I'm going to – that's Pride tonight. He's like, I'm beating up on the Goose. Pride just goes to work on Goose, choking him in the corner, beating on him, but Goose comes back with those headbutts. It gets that Green Bay roll, and then does a cartwheel into a splash. I was like, yeah, Goose, let's go.
Nice.
He was winning me over here. Then Wolfboy hits a senton off the back of Goose to Pride after he tagged in and got a 2 count. 7 ended up double teaming. I think it was Wolfboy, and then Pride gets him up, Griswold hits the TJP / ricochet detonation kick, the off the shoulders into that kick to the head. Yeah, just Wolfboy is about to get a tag, but he gets backdropped hard on his head by Marz, and they're just doing all the very like evil spots, like holding the hand in the corner. Yeah, he's like holding the hand in the corner, waving it at Goose, and just like come on, you want to tag? They're just being dicks, especially Pride. Pride gets a suplex, calls for the stomp, but misses it. Wolfboy hits a super kick and gets Goose tagged in. Goose coming in with the wings to the head, just those bionic elbows, those bionic wings. Pride and to Marz and Pride. Goose hits a lariat to Marz. Like he gets Pride into Marz's like DDT position, then lariats Marz who DDT's Pride. It was great.
So good.
Goose tosses Pride to the floor, but goes for the dive, but Pride kicks him in the head on the dive attempt. They end up getting Marz is back in. They end up fighting. Zeta World Order end up double teaming Marz, and they hit this 619 pile driver combo. I was like, yeah, I like that little tag move. It was kind of cool, little tag move. But Marz kicks a 2.9. Marz fights off the double team, gets a roll up into the super kick to Goose. This wheelbarrow facebuster stomp combo by 7. Pride applies the dragon sleeper to Goose, and Goose taps out. Pride starts stomping on Wolfboy after the match. And then like Marz is pulling him off, saying, "Hey, stop!" And like again, you're seeing. I think we're seeing the dissension in 7 a little. Still those little hints of dissension there.
It's because our good friend Jason Rutledge was not there at the show because on the Thursday beforehand he was dressed up like the missing TJ Cannon. We didn't have JJ Cannon.
He was JJ Cannon. Come on.
Yeah, JJ Cannon wasn't there tonight. The glue that has been holding this faction together has been absent.
Yeah.
And thus we are seeing a fracture. It's very interesting, though. It's creating an interesting story with these two. And it was, again, we have to say that seeing Jack before and then seeing Pride tonight, he was doing, as you mentioned, a very similar, same moveset. But there's the subtle differences now. We saw the intensity of Pride, the savagery of Pride versus the sweet playfulness of Jack. And it was a very interesting flip. And if you'd seen both shows, you'd almost question if it's the same person. It's really brilliant.
Yeah.
Goose and Wolfboy. I love this team. Every time we see them together, they do something different. They add something to their repertoire. And I think going against a team like 7, who has the experience that they do, not just independently, but working together as a team, it was the perfect team for them to go against to have such an incredible match. Let's talk about what happened after, too.
What happened
where Mr. McBeefy came out.
Oh, yeah. Beef Boy came out to help them leave?
Yeah, we were having a conversation about this, how it was an odd pairing. Because we know that McBeefy, it makes sense to be with Zoo World Order, because, but like, Eli Surge is also a part of that group. Does he not believe Goose exists?
Well, he thinks Goose is a drone.
Rude. So rude. This will be an interesting, another kind of story coming out of this. It's very nice to see, because you know how I love me some stories. I don't need a story every match, but I love stories.
I kind of want to see Eli Surge versus Goose now. Him just accusing him of being a drone and not being real, and Goose having to prove that he is in fact real.
Hey, that would be a hell of a story.
It would be. I think it'd be a fun little story there. But we move on to the first of 2 matches that are direct results of people picking each other's opponents. Last month, Michael Richard Blais chose the Golden Gun, Mark Wheeler, to be Lumberjack Larry Wood's opponent. Larry looking pretty tough right there, like looking kind of tough in that picture. Like got the flannel all done up. You're looking like, yeah, I don't know. This looks like he's ready to punch somebody.
I'm just going by the beard and saying that this is probably an old picture.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably one of his older ones because I know he's got a couple newer ones. But yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Again, the Golden Gun. What he this man faced Blais. I want to say a year and a half ago. I missed the show, just due to scheduling stuff, and I couldn't get the time off.
Mm.
It was before you guys started coming.
Mm.
Uh, me, Andreas, and Kat just missed this one. But
Mm.
yeah, when, but man, was this guy good? Holy shit!
Yeah.
There's a and I guess he challenged Blais for this. Yeah, because it would have been a year and a half ago. Because he challenged Blais for the LPW title, so it would have been last fall of 2022 when he was here last. But man, he was so good. So the Clandestine Wrestling Society comes out. Spencer comes out. Like, he ain't having it. He's like, I'm not having any of this. Sends them to the back. But this is where Wheeler gets to jump on Larry, attacking from behind. Attacks him in the corner, but Larry does fight back. He gets his own chops and strikes. Drops Wheeler with the running back elbow. Larry gets a backbreaker and the sidewalk slam. Wheeler tries to roll away from the leg drop as Larry's going for it, but Larry just takes a couple more steps forward and hits the leg drop. I thought it was actually a little kind of humorous there. Gets a 2 count. Larry gets the massive Bronco Buster in the corner. Just would not stop. Then he gets a 2 count out of that. Wheeler ends up fighting back, hits Larry hits Larry, then hits this huge drop kick, and hits this like spinning suplex for 2. Wheeler choking Larry on the ropes, hitting these hard strikes and elbows. Wheeler misses a corner splash. But yeah, again, I messed this part up. I'm gonna go. Then a point, Larry gets Wheeler down, goes for the Eddie Guerrero senton, but misses, and then Wheeler gets him with a slingshot swinging flatliner. Looks so good. Yeah, anybody that does, I love the slingshot moves out of the ropes. That
Yeah.
they all look so cool, man. Like Alan Angel did it in this match. Wheeler did it here. I love those moves. Wheeler beating up on Larry, slapping him, but Larry fights back, gets an enziguri. Elbow on the rope. They hit each other with elbows on the ropes, like running into each other on the rope with elbows. Wheeler reverses a backdrop, but Larry turns backdrop of Wheeler's into a cross body. Just Larry's attacking Wheeler, so Wheeler just takes his nose and goes and blows snot at him. I was like, ew, gross, dude. And Larry gets so incensed, he just starts wailing on Wheeler. He goes for the Sawmaker, but Wheeler slips out, hits a super kick for 2. Headbutt in the corner by Wheeler. He puts Larry up top. Larry fights him, drops Wheeler face first into the mat, hits a top rope leg drop, but Wheeler kicks out a 2.9. Off the shoulder flapjack by Larry, then goes up, but Wheeler hits the ropes, crouching up top. Larry falls to the mat. Wheeler gets the Falcon Arrow for 2. Then he gets another. Just said, no, this is my pin. And goes for another 2, but he still can't get it. They trade roll-ups. Larry catches a kick, flips Wheeler, flips him around, hits the Sawmaker, and Lumberjack Larry gets the win. And by this, gets his championship match next month by winning this match. So more on that later after the main event. Again, I thought really great match here, and I was really impressed by Mark Wheeler here, man. He's really good.
As was I. Yes, Kat and I were discussing greatly how much we enjoyed watching Wheeler's stuff. Because, man, fresh meat, fresh face, and holy crap, were these two beating the hell out of each other. It was great. We always enjoy seeing fucking Larry. It's great. This was just, for me also, because I had no idea who Wheeler was. This was my first time seeing him, and admittedly, I'm clearly not into the know, I didn't know who he was. This was a tremendous exhibition for me. I really, really enjoyed all of this. It was so chaotically perfect in its own little way. And Larry was fired up for this one. I always like seeing Larry fired up and ready to go. We saw him just as fired up at the RCW show the next day. Man, what a weekend. These guys work a lot.
Yeah, we watched a lot of wrestling this weekend.
We did. I'm kind of
Yeah.
tired.
I know the feeling. Yeah, but again, really great match. Larry coming on top, getting a shot at the championship in
Yes.
April. We've already got our tickets. Looking forward to that show. So we're gonna move on.
Wait a second, real quick. Didn't Alan Angel say he wanted to challenge whoever is the champion after that?
Yeah. Oh, after the Angels in Thickness match, Angels did say that he will be back in May, and whoever is the champion at that point, he wants a shot. I don't know if I want to see him versus Blais or versus Larry. I really don't know. Like, I think both matches would be incredible, but like, I'd like to see what Larry could do with Alan Angels. I really would like to see that. But
I have to agree. I think that would be an interesting clash of styles.
But in my heart of hearts, I want it to be my MRB versus Alan Angels. In my heart of hearts is where I want it. So,
I mean, they're a similar style, so I feel that they could work some really good stuff together. I feel like I also would want to see the uniqueness of Larry's going against the uniqueness of Alan Angels also. Oh no, I'm kind of in the same boat.
I agree. Yeah, so we move on. It's an LPW 6-person scramble match. It's Elliott Tyler taking on Rich King, taking on Shiek Shabaz, taking on Berat Gorani, taking on making his LPW debut, Jessie Fee, an impressive behemoth of an individual, taking on the LPW Scramble champion, T.Y. Jackson. So everybody gets out, everybody's in the ring. We're ready to go, and then we hear Spencer. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to add somebody else to the match. And we hear the music of the money. Gigi Ray. It makes her way out from Millwoods, making her way out there. So Gigi is now in that. I don't have it. There was no other graphics, so Gigi's not on the graphics, sorry to say. But Gigi Ray.
Imagination.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying. So yeah, Gigi Ray added to the match. So it's now a 7-person scramble match. Parallel take out Elliott Tyler immediately. They tried to intimidate Gigi Ray, but the Rads attack hit them. Gigi gets an enziguri onto Berat. There's an atomic drop and inverted atomic drop by the Rads to Shiek, and Gigi hits a face buster. Gigi tries to drop kick Jessie V. She literally bounced off of him.
Yeah, he didn't go far.
No, he didn't move. She hit and then fell down. It was like, huh. And then he picks her up and slams the piss out of her, man. Oh. Jessie gets to this this cannonball type move in the corner to Rich. Then does like a hop up insecurity. This man, as big and beefy as he is, has hops like you wouldn't believe, because he jumped up and kicked T.Y. in the head, who's on the top rope. Like, holy crap. Then he stacks both Rads on his shoulder and hits this double power slam, just crushing both of them.
So good.
Pierre Lira get Jessie up, though, and hit that leg lariat heart attack. Rich gets a final beat DDT to Berat. High cross off the top by Beef to TY. Then a dragon screw and the single leg crab to Rich. But Gigi gets head scissors to Beef Boy. And then hits a suplex and a sliding elbow to him. So a bunch of people out on the floor. Berat hits a swanton to people on the floor on one side. Gigi hits her corkscrew swanton dive onto other people on the other side on the floor. Just crazy. in the ring. Jessie and Rich end up in the ring. Jessie yeets, everybody ends up on the stage. This is where Jessie starts yeeting people over the top rope into the ring. It's just crazy because the stage is about the same
Okay.
level as the ring, and he's just yeeting people over the top. Like he yeets Rich in and yeets Beef Boy in, yeets TY in, and he yeets the second biggest man in the match, Shiek, Akbar, Shabaz. He yeets him over the top and into the ring.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Gigi goes to the top, does a crossbody to Jessie on the stage, but he catches her. Then military presses her and tosses her onto everybody in the ring. Again, just pure pandemonium here. Incredible pandemonium though.
Glorious, glorious chaos.
Yeah, Jessie hits. So Berat ends up seated in one of the corners, like nearest to where we sit on the one side. He gets the opposite corner, like not across the rope, but completely the other
side of the ring.
Like completely other side of the ring. Gets up top. This man comes off the top all the way across. I think it's a 16-foot ring, 18-foot ring that LPW had. Goes from one corner to the complete opposite corner, and like coast to coast drop kick by this gigantic human being. Like I was saying, this, like, he doesn't look like him, but he is that style, that Brian Cage style. He's big man, but he can fly. He's so athletic, but he's gigantic at the same time. It's crazy.
You know who he kind of like looks like to me now? Who's that guy on ROH?
No, I know who I'm thinking. For me, it's TNA. Eddie Edwards in TNA. He looks like a giant.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
He was in ROH at one point.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
He was ROH.
I was thinking about that Honor No More thing. I think that he joined or whatever. That was the last time that I'd seen.
Yeah.
That. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
He looks like a gigantic version of him with that style, as you mentioned, like Brian Cage. It's just insane. He's good. I enjoyed him. He was also that kind of, he wasn't really interacting with the crowd, but he had that almost like effortless charisma, like Sonata. Sonata has the same thing, right? He doesn't make a whole ton of effort, but the crowd reacts to him. He has that lumbering, big guy, intimidating, almost like doom expecting kind of aura about him, and I loved it because he was terribly active at the beginning of this. If I remember correctly, he just kind of patiently walked around and waited for his moment to start getting into it, and it was great. These are my...
Oh, so yeah, I was gonna say he had that weird, like, intimidating presence at the start of the match. You're like, what is he gonna do as everybody else is fighting?
Yeah. These are actually, the Scramble matches are my favorite matches at LPW. I always look forward to them because everyone in it knows exactly what the fizzity yuck they're doing and where they're going, how they're doing it. It's such perfectly organized chaos. I really enjoyed McBeefy in this one. I enjoy how he kind of comes in and out and he has this like unique kind of humor to him that's almost like very, he's very deadpan. Like he can deliver things very, very easily and like confidently, I think is the word that I'm looking for, where he's this character and he just lives this character in the ring. And I really, really enjoy his work. What else can we say? It's nice to see the Rads working together a little bit. I always enjoy seeing them hit their tag team. It was such an accomplished tag team. They have such good moves together. And I feel like they're actually very comparable to Stars in Stardom, where it doesn't matter who is paired up with who, they're still going to pull off that move. It's just you take the person out and you put the other person in. It's a well-oiled machine. I always like seeing Paralira also. I'm disappointed they weren't Team Chippendale tonight and missing the bow ties, but whatever. Still got sparkle boots.
She's still shining.
Yeah, it's still shining. It was a great freaking match. And Gigi, Gigi, girl, you are so freaking fast. And if with all these guys who were just bigger than you were running circles around them. Circles. Maybe just do a circle. But for me, also in this one, it was an ability for her to show off that speed with some people who could actually really, really keep up with her really, really
TY.
well in this match. TY, Rich kept up with her, Berat can keep up with her. Sheik even did really, really great with her. Like
Jessie kept up.
everybody in this match was such.
Yeah.
I was disappointed I didn't get to see, or maybe I wasn't paying attention. I didn't see the jumping European uppercut this match from
No,
Shiki.
I didn't note it, but yeah. So we're not even done the match even after that corner to corner.
Yeah.
So after Gigi takes Jessie out with a top drop kick off the top rope after he did that cross across that corner that from one continent to another drop kick there that he did. Paralier ends up doing the cheers power bomb to the Rads where they pick them up, run them into each other in power, and then so they roll out. It's just like Sheik and Berat are looking to like square off, and then they go, oh, they do rock paper scissors.
Loved it. Loved it. It was so funny.
Sheik beats Berat, so Berat has to he lays down for Sheik, and all I hear is Dash going, "Man, I think he said something like, man, I can't believe he would do that for a friend." There was something here, Dash.
You lost the rock, paper, scissors. That's what you do.
Yeah, and then so she goes for the pin, but it doesn't get broken up, man. Just some crazy. Jessie rolls up Sheik like with a schoolboy, then lifts him with one arm, and Sheik is not a small man. Just one arm lift, like his other arm was out to the side as he lifts him, and then just crushes him with a power bomb. Oh my god. Yeah, Beef Boy stands up to Jessie. He stops him up top. It just scoop slams Jessie off the top. Then Rich jumps up to where Beef Boy is and belly to belly Beef Boy off the top. And then we get the sequence. Sheik hits the camel toss to TY. Rich hits the ankle slam to Sheik. Gigi hits a suplex to Rich. Gigi hits a corner elbow to Berat, but he catches her coming at him and tosses her and hits the enziguri to her. But then Beef gets the snare trap onto Berat, but TY hits the house call kick to Beef. Elliott Tyler, for those of you. I love how you call him McBeefy, but I love that. He gets the house call kick and to break up the submission. Then he hits a swanton to Beef and Berat, who are laying on top. Beef is laying on top, and then he pins Beef for the win. Again, absolutely incredible scramble match, man. And
yes,
I got to talk to Jessie. I don't know if it was intermission or after the show, but I was chatting with him for a couple minutes. I said, "Dude, you're incredible. Like, you give me, I'm like, I said to him, like, it's shades of Brian Cage. You're a gigantic human, but you have such crazy athleticism that's like it's so impressive. And it's just he's the nicest gentleman to talk to after the show.
Those giants usually are, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all gentle.
I already did my little end of thing tangent there, so we can go ahead.
Yeah, so we're gonna move on. It's time for the LPW Challenge Championship. Is the intangible Zoe Sager defending with the thickness Reid Matthews, but he did leave right after the intros. He didn't stick around for this match. He wasn't on the outside all the whole time, which was
needed.
She is defending against Speedball, Mike Bailey. Again, just great stuff. Zoe pulling the hair of Speedball early in the match. I was like, that's pretty funny. Just the athleticism between these two is just great, man. I love Speedball's hip toss into the armbar. It looks great. So again, Zoe, her transitions here with him to get out of a lot of stuff looked really good, man. Yeah, so Speedball ends up sending Zoe to the floor, gets that triangle moonsault from inside to out to Zoe on the floor. It looked really good. Speedball scoop slams her onto some chairs in the crowd. I was just like, what? I was just like, that just seems so weird. And then he gets a scoop slam and a pin for 2 in the ring. Just great stuff here. Speedball with the suplex, gets her into the corner, hits this thud of a chop. Just
Oh yeah.
just sounded rough. He misses the haluva kick though, so he gets her own haluva kick, but misses the running knee when he's seated in the corner. They end up going a bunch of reversals. Zoe gets him on the rope and hits the oblivion out of the ropes. Again, just great stuff here. Zoe with the kicks, but Bailey stops the shoulder block, so she stomps on the foot, which did hurt the one she stomps on that foot. He stops the shoulder block, so she stomps on his foot. He's like, and then she hits everything is Zoe. Changing it up for this one. She's the EIZ, everything is Zoe. She gets a seated drop kick in the sliding lariat for 2. Just great stuff. Both of these two here, man. Just the Speedball's kicks are just crazy, man. Like he can kick you from any position. Bailey misses the moonsault knees in the ring, rolls to the apron. Zoe drop kicks him off. She goes to the top rope and drop kicks him on the apron. She goes crashing on the apron. I'm like, why did you do that? Like, why? Like, it's just not needed. She's gonna wreck her back. Dude, they're end up on the floor, and Zoe Germans him onto the chairs, and he lands on the back part of the chairs on this German. Like, Bailey stops a German on the apron, but she boots him into the post. She gets him on her shoulders and hits that electric chair drop that she does onto the apron. Zoe goes to the top. She gets drop kicked by Bailey as she goes for the dive. He hits a thrust kick to the face, but misses the tornado kick in the corner. Bailey gets an Zoe gets an O'Connor roll for 2, and then gets a crucifix. She hits a super kick. Hits a super kick and a bridging German for 2. Bailey ducks the enziguri into a release German, gets the tornado kick in the corner, goes up, goes for ultimate weapon, but she reverses into a Z Factor, which looked great. She then hits another Z Factor, and Zoe Sager pins Speedball Mike Bailey. And then after the match, he offers her a handshake again, because he offered her one at the start of the match, and she refused. He offers it again, and she's like, she goes to, and then just goes meh and walks away, and the entire crowd is just booing her, except for our friends over to the left of the commentary table, who for some reason started cheering for Zoe this year. I don't understand it. I just don't. Peggy, get your friends under control. Don't let friends cheer for Zoe.
I didn't say shit. I think it pisses her off more than anything, though. So maybe that's why. I mean, maybe it's not because they actually like her. Maybe it's just because they want to antagonize her. I don't know. Either way, this match was killer. Yeah, as I said earlier, great freaking in-ring ability. Terrible attitude. There's her beacon off in the match, though. It sounds like a squirrel who just drank a cup of coffee. It's adorable, but like, deepen your voice a little. You shouldn't be sounding adorable when you're trying to give a shit. Otherwise, functionally speaking, move for move, this match was just top tier. This was so good. So good. I don't have anything to add to this one.
I gotta give it to Zoe. The frustration that she shows when she hits these big moves and can't get pinfalls. It's just
great.
Just the utter anger and frustrations. Yeah, she's so like that ability in the ring. You wish some people in the big leagues could have that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Her facial expressions have gotten a lot better in variety and rage, for sure.
Oh, so good. So good. Yeah, so we're gonna move on to LPW Tag Team Championship match, one I was very much looking forward to. It's Ride or Die, TFA and Steven Crowe taking on Nicole Matthews and Artemis Spencer from the Lionsgate Dojo. the head trainers of the Lionsgate Dojo, the owners of the Lionsgate Dojo. Dude, Artie and Crow go early, wrestling around. Crow's trying to get Artie, but Artie gets him down. As Crow gets a move, Artie reverses it so fast. Artemis is just so good. He gets Crow on the ropes and hits the over-the-top rope 619, where he like does a 619 but over the top rope. I don't know how he does that, but it's insanely impressive, man. Yeah. Artemis Spencer fights off the double team. He gets them into a double Optimus lock. Octopus lock. Did I say Optimus?
You did. Maybe
Yeah,
that's something that should be used for somebody else who likes Transformers.
Yeah, the double octopus lock, and then Nicole Matthews just gets in the ring and just gets down and does like a pose.
It's so it was perfect.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Yeah, Matthews just working over TFA, just rolling her around. Russian leg sweeps. Just gets a drop toe hold. Pulls. She gets drop toe holds Crow 1 point. Pulls him into like a Romero special position, but doesn't lift him up into it. She just has it pulled back while like he's kneeling. And Artemis just kicks the chest of Crow, and you're just like, ow!
Yeah, that was ouchies.
TFA comes in, so Artemis gets a triangle on her, but Crow eventually like rolls forward and like tosses Nicole onto the submission by Artemis Spencer. It's just crazy stuff. Beautiful double underhook backbreaker by Crow, and then into like he hits the double under into the backbreaker, and then he pushes Artie forward into the sliding lariat of TFA. I actually thought a great little double team there. Yeah, just great stuff. TFA choking Nicole on the ropes and in the corner, and the ref just admonishing her. Going, she just keeps going back to the chokes, just won't stop. TFA puts Nicole on the top rope, and they hit the across the second rope, and they do that assisted double knee drop in the corner. Crow does. Mel's looking off to the side, doesn't know what's going on anymore.
There's a car driving on the pathway outside my place.
That's a walking path, though.
I know. That's why I'm like, that one of these things just doesn't belong here.
Yeah, very much so. That definitely doesn't belong here, man. Again,
No.
I took so many notes in this match. It's crazy, man.
It's good though because there was so much going on.
Yeah, again, it's just so much. Like I can't even do this match justice. There's so much good stuff. Artemis booting Crow into the corner, hit him with forearms, and it gets him in a cravat and starts throwing knees. Got the cravat on, just throwing knees at him.
Was that when he shotgun drop kicked him like a mofo? Holy heckin' Christ. Sir, where did that come from? Who hurt you?
Yeah.
Like that felt almost like a receipt for something. That felt almost like borderline unnecessary.
Yeah. So Nicole has TFA up top of one, but she can't get the spider suplex because Crow pulls her down. He climbs up and just trio stomps this shit out of Nicole Matthews. That's like,
so good.
Artemis then comes in, picks up Crow, hits a beautiful lung blower power bomb, but then TFA goes up and hits a Rana to him coming off the top of the Rana. Yeah, dude, just crazy stuff, man. Nicole hits a beautiful brainbuster to Crow, and Nathan beside me goes, "Who's legal?" Because so many people have been in and out. And Nicole, right after she hits a brainbuster, she sits up and looks right at Nathan because he said a couple of things through the show, not mean, but like, and she's responded back. She's like, "I am." It was just like I just laughed.
That wasn't where the confusion was. We knew she was legal.
I know. I laughed so hard, and then she goes for the pin and gets two. Artemis ends up kicking Nicole by accident. But they stop the Crow poison Rana. He slams him into the corner, gets his own poison Rana to Crow. TFA tries to use the belt, but Nicole grabs it, and they're fighting over the belt. The ref's getting involved with them. So Crow uses his title belt to hit Artemis Spencer behind the ref's back. The ref turns around. Crow gets the 2 count. Artemis gets out of the double team, tags in Nicole. They take them out. Short arm lariats by Nicole. It hits a Northern Lights suplex into the arm bar, but then Crowe hits a senton to Nicole Matthews. The end of the match has Artemis Spencer and Crowe fighting on the floor. Nicole Matthews tries to sunset flip TFA, but Crowe drops Artemis Spencer. TFA sits down as they're right next to the rope. She sits down on the sunset flip attempt, and Crowe grabs her arms, helping to hold her down. And the ref didn't see it, and they get the 1, the 2, and the 3 to cheat to win to retain the tag team titles in what was an incredibly great match.
This was also when we started discussing on which member of House of Torture the clandestine society people are.
They're
More on
not
that later.
meanly, but they cheat a lot, man.
As does House of Torture.
Yeah.
Oh. This was a great freaking match, though. Holy heckin' shit. Yeah, there were certain parts where Artemis Spencer, though, seemed a little bit more savage than other parts. As mentioned, like the shotgun dropkick on Crowe suddenly. Like, he was doing drop kicks and stuff throughout the match. I don't know what happened there, but it was just like a row. Tranquilo. Yikes. He seemed to fire up quite a bit. It really helped kind of move along the emotional kind of roller coaster of this match, because there was just the right amount of excitement and then a break, and the right amount of excitement and a break. There was a lot of experience happening in this match. Yeah, that's all I got to say on this one.
Yeah, again, absolutely incredible tag match. I love seeing Artemis Spencer. I got to see him back. The first time I ever saw him was the clandestine show back in 2019. Watching him in that 3 with Blais and BVD, and then I watched him a year a little more than a year ago. Or I saw him on the first LPW. I've seen him on like 2 or 3 LPW shows now, and then this one. Again, I think this dude is absolutely incredible. I wish we could have him here more, but they're working everywhere. Both him and Nicole, they're traveling all over. I know he's a regular in Defy. There's a Defy show this upcoming week for during WrestleMania weekend in Philly. So I don't know if it's in Philly or not. It might be in Seattle, but there's a show. Like, again, I want to see that. And I'm a huge fan of both Artemis Spencer and Nicole Matthews, and PFA and Crowe stepped up to the plate and they went to war with these two. It was a great match. Yeah. So we're going to move on. Main event of the Friday show. Oh, did I skip something? Oh.
You might have. You missed a graphic.
I didn't put the Blais graphic in. I am bad at my job. Oh, I feel I am ashamed of myself. I messed up. Oh, man, I should be fired. Mel, I think you need to take over producing. I think you need to become the new producer for this.
I don't think so. No.
You don't think you could do it?
I am half-ass good at a lot of stuff. I don't want this to be another one.
Yeah, so
I can just keep talking. While you're finding the graphic. Oh.
I got it.
There we go.
I did it. I'm not completely shit at my job. Yeah, I just opened it up and shared the screen. LPW Grand Championship, your savior, Michael Richard Blais, taking on the returning Rose. And if you're a fan of Rose, if you want to check out, go watch this week's edition of AEW Rampage that Rose was on. Check that out, or look up her commercial on YouTube where she's fighting with a piece of luggage in an elevator. It's pretty goddamn funny. It's a great commercial.
And that's what I thought this should have been. Should have been a suitcase match. Whoever can stuff the other person in a suitcase.
That would have been actually pretty gosh darn funny. So, she offers a handshake for before the match, and he spits on her, slams her. He hits the kneecap brainbuster right away, tosses her to the floor, slams her on a fan's table, face first at ringside. Slammed her on the table. Rose gets back to the 9. Blais really in control here for the first while. She bites his hand, or bites his hand, but he gets like 4 tilt-a-whirl backbreakers in a row, and that's the spin into the 5th and final tilt-a-whirl backbreaker.
Very
Again,
Bolton Oleg of him.
yeah, you're completely right. He just like bang lifts her up, bang lifts, and it looked pretty good, man.
Mm-hmm.
He gets her by the ankle, stomping on the foot. Why did I write Scorpion? Oh, Scorpion Deathlock is applied. She gets her hand, is like biting her fingers. I was like,
Don't you put it in your mouth.
like, why? Gross. Like, just, and she fights, he reapplies it on, grabs the arm, pulling back. It's almost turning into a bow and arrow, but she eventually fights to the ropes. Just where she low bridges Blais over the top. He goes to the floor. They end up fighting on the turnbuckle or on the corner, but she kicks him off, sending him back to the floor. He lands on the apron and crashes to the floor. She then hits this like Darby Allin-esque move. Like she essentially went for his like coffin. So it's like a spinning coffin drop, I want to say.
It felt like it, yeah. Because she didn't start off facing away from him like Darby does. She
leaped out, spun in the air, and coffin dropped him on the floor.
Yeah, she was facing him at first, not standing there with her back to him.
Yeah. Top rope, back in the ring. She has a top rope drop kick. Blais stops a powerbomb attempt, but she sunset flips him, hits a kick to the stomach, and hits a code. I'm calling it's the code red, but for her, it's the code rose for 2. Yeah, that's
It's clever.
Again, lots of great stuff. Blais comes back with a V trigger on the ropes, and whips her and picks her up, spine busters the shit out of her. She slips out of the final consecration into a DDT, and then a springboard off the second into a Canadian destroyer, but Blais kicks out of that 2.9 moment. Ride or Die come out. Blais gets the chain. They distract the ref. He hits her. She kicks out at 2.9999 in that last possible millisecond.
Every time you see 2.9, you're intentionally adding another 9, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm watching. I see you.
She slaps. It's all different amounts of 9s in my writing. Some have 6, some have 4, some have 1, some have 20. It just depends
20.
on how many 9s I decide to put in there.
Jesus.
Yeah. She slaps him. She backslides him into a Kamagoye, but the ref is out at this point. Or sorry, so she slapped him, and then Blais went for the drop kick. He drops kicks Stu in the corner. So this is where she backslides him into the Kamagoye, gets the visual 3, but there's no ref to count. And this is where Ride or Die attack her. They hit the assisted double, or they go for the assisted double knees in the corner, but this is where Larry Wood shows up. He pushes Crowe to the floor because he's up in the air. His TFA's holding him to throw him down in the double knees. He comes in, pushes him to the floor. He hits a Sawmaker to TFA, and she rolls out, but then Blais cracks him with the championship. Rose then poison Rana's Blais out of the corner. She then goes up to the top and hit. And I literally had to ask Nathan this question. I'm like, she comes off the top, front flip into like a Molly go round, like shades of Molly Holly from the early 2000s here. She hits a Molly go round off the top. She grabs the belt, hits Blais with it. The ref's still down. This is where she wakes up the ref, hits this like snap powerbomb, and she gets him like halfway up and just drives him down. Like she's like just drives him down. She doesn't get him all the way up. It's a snap powerbomb, but Blais kicks out of that last possible moment, that 2.99. See, keeping it different.
Only two.
Yeah, 2.99. Rose back up to the top, but he catches the Molly go around this time and then hits a buckle bomb, gets her on his shoulders, climbs to the second rope, but they kind of slip on this brainbuster. This like what I think he was going for was El Generico's brainbuster, where he would drive a brainbuster into the top turnbuckle, but they slipped. She almost goes crashing into the mat on her head.
Yeah, that was right in front of us too.
He picks her up. tosses her in the corner hard. Like, he's got her in a suplex and just throws her into the corner, like, well, she's in a suplex, then picks her up. Final consecration, the formerly the toasted bagel, and he gets the win. Michael Richard Blais retains the LPW Grand Championship. So let's talk about you want to talk about the match before we get to the post-match stuff?
Yeah, that'll make sense. Well, I don't have a whole lot. It's been a few days removed since we've seen this show, and I've seen another show in between, and I've been watching other wrestling in between this. My brain only has so much capacity. I'm
Well, I take
trying. This is why you take notes and I just sit there laughing. Because let's be honest, my notes would look like garbage. This match was so good. Um, it was definitely for the first little bit of it, though, just like a one-handed, one-sided beat down on Rose there. I noticed when she first went to the outside there, usually like when they go, they hang on to the rope a little bit, so it kind of slows the momentum a little bit, so the fall maybe isn't quite so rough. She did not get to do so on that. She hit that ground really, really hard, and she was nursing her neck quite a bit after that. I was a little bit concerned. She did phenomenal for the rest of the match, though, but gosh dang, did she look like she was hurting. Um, she's a bit of a wild one, isn't she? I think this is my second time seeing her, and this was the first time that I think I saw her in a position of vulnerability. So I think the first time I saw her, she was equally savage with the person who she was facing. I can't remember who it was,
I
but
think
I
she was
feel
the
like she was an
scramble.
equal. Was it? Yeah, I was gonna say it was a scramble, I think. And she
Mm.
didn't struggle at all like that. She was very much on the same level as everybody else she was working with. This was where we kind of saw her a little vulnerable, a little beat up. The story though was so good throughout this one. It's been interesting to see the change in MRB since November,
Yeah, November.
October, November. I think October was the starting of it, and November was like the catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not I could very be mistaken. That stuff has already left my brain. Yeah, this was
Like,
a great match. Great way to top off the show. It was nice to see Larry get involved. Um, where's the other two though? Oh,
not sure.
Billy.
His boys are
Fractures.
there. His boys are there.
Yeah.
If you do keep up on Tales from the Undercard,
Hmm.
there has been a little bit of friction with the Rads lately. If you're watching some of the back, like
Hmm.
last show, I remember watching. Marz put it in Rich's head that Larry screwed him last month at LPW. So
He did, though. We can't say he didn't. If Larry had sat down, shut up, and sipped on his beer, Rich would probably be the LPW Grand Champion. If Larry hadn't gotten involved with that mess with TY, maybe TY would have been the champion. There's a lot of fucking Larry going on this year. There's so many fractures happening. It's odd to see the only unified team being House of Torture Clandestine.
yeah, well, a parallel era.
Fair Larry, yeah. I just consider them a tag team and much less a faction, just because there's only two of them.
That's true.
If they added like a third person, even just a manager,
Well, yeah,
like I would consider that more of a faction.
Sad got rid of that manager a year ago when he got rid of Kyoto. He pinned Kyoto
Well,
him out of the company. Then he
I
did
mean, and poor choices, right? I
and
miss
then he did the
Kyoto.
same thing to Ben, so to send him back to the referee position. So that
Well,
is
we
too.
don't like managers and valets anymore. I thought that they were making a resurgence.
No, Thad just likes to be the only manager in the company. That's what it is. He doesn't like a
Oh, that's why he's Greed in Seven. That makes sense. Oh, okay. Okay. All right,
so
let's go into the after stuff.
post match. The Clandestine Wrestling Society they start attacking Rose, but Larry stops the beatdown, and Spencer gets up on stage and he says, "You made a promise last month. Next month, Lumberjack Larry Woods is coming for the title." Um, and Blaze is pissed, but he's like, yeah, he's kind of resigned to it at this point. And then Larry gets the mic. He says, since I beat Mark Wheeler, I get to pick the stipulation. And Blais is like, no. And he's yelling, no, you can't do that. And he's like, I know what I want. It's something you use and you crush my skull with and you're using it all the time. We're going to have a chain match. A 15-foot steel chain will link these two together, wrist to wrist. I wish they would have said dog collar match, honestly, but you're going with the steel chain to the wrist.
I would prefer it on the wrist. I'm not going to lie. There's a time and place. We've already seen the dog collar thing. Maybe bring it back in a little bit. But yeah, also just safety and a chain. I don't think so. I'm excited to see it though. I mean, I'm hopeful that it won't be similar to what we saw with Vince Austin and RCW, but as long as it's not. But I don't think it's going to be because you got two very, very competent, good wrestlers in Larry and Michael. That I think that's not going to be a case. It's going to be a great freaking match. But we're also probably going to see a lot of crazy ish.
Yeah, so all that will happen at Love Pro Wrestling 25 Edmonton Calling. The graphic for the actual Blais and Larry match has not been released online yet, so I couldn't get it. But yeah, I'm excited. We're gonna be there. We have our tickets. We're gonna be at our regular table. Looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Oh, so good, so good.
And I know somebody said she wants to get a ticket for next month and join us. So from where she was this past show, she wants to be able to sit with us next show. She said so.
Carly, yay! Yes, all the yes. Do that.
Well, all the yeses for sure. But
all
yeah,
yes.
Two absolutely incredible shows back to back. And I gotta say a big thank you to Alan Angels, to Mike Bailey, and to Nicole Matthews. All for I have to thank them very much for signing. I had our friend Eric's PWI 500 and PWI 250, and I got Alan and Bailey to sign the PWI 500, and I got Nicole. It was even after the show. We had asked one of the guys that works as one of the production guys. He ran to the back to ask Nicole to come out, and she had no problem coming out because she had been out all night and came out, signed the book for me to give to Eric. So Eric, I got you three because I didn't get any of happen to get any locals. I'm sorry, but yeah, I got those three. I guess I think Gigi's in there. I could have got Gigi. I didn't even think to. Damn it.
I mean, maybe if you ask Spencer nicely, he'll book her again next month.
I did hear something like you said she was heading back to Texas because that's where home base now. Reality of Wrestling, Booker T's promotion. So hopefully he books her back in the next little while and I can get that signed for her. But yeah,
absolutely.
Again, I want to thank them so much for signing it. And but again, and all like for Nicole, for Artemis, for Bailey, Veda, Alan, Angels, all coming out to the show. Man, everything was so good, man. This show was awesome, man. And then all the crew that's always there, the guys that are regularly working all these shows, like I can't add the rosters we have between RCW, Top Talent, and LPW. I can't ask for better, man. I'm enjoying the hell out of the local independent wrestling scene.
Me too. It has been a tremendous year for professional wrestling because, I remember years and years ago when I first started seeing some of the local shows. Some of them were a lot better than others. Now we're seeing those other ones popping up and stepping up and doing really, 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 really well. I've been very pleasantly surprised with the competition here in Alberta. I'm just hoping that we, the fans, get to continue to benefit from it in the time to come because, gosh dang, these shows, they're just getting better and better each time we see them. It's such a blessing. I'm so happy.
Yeah, absolutely incredible, man. So we've come to the end of another edition of Chop Talk. You can find me on the X at That Canada Guy, on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at That Canada Dude. You can find me on Facebook at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, and right here on our YouTube page, or if you're not watching there, on our YouTube page at Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk. Go over there and check that out. And to those of you listening on the Patreon for SNME Radio, thank you so much for downloading our the show we do regularly on YouTube, but we're dropping this one special because it has some big names on it, and we want to give out some special shows to the patrons every now and again. Let them listen to something new, something different. That's what this one is for. So I hope if you're listening on the Patreon for SNME Radio, I hope you enjoyed us talking about the local Edmonton and Reading wrestling scene. And if you are a patron for SNM Radio and in the Edmonton area, come go to our YouTube and just look at it when our faces are. You can find me on Facebook. Look for my face at a show. Come tell me that you listen to us on the SNME, because I would love to talk to you guys. So, and anybody else that's watching us on YouTube or anywhere else, please say hello to the show. We wouldn't mind. And then for all the other great content Sunday's Main Event does, SundaysMainEvent.com. You can get the RSS feed there, the free feed. And then the Patreon feed is patreon.com/SNME Radio, where you can support them for only $4 American per month. And then you can also find this guy, over at twitch.tv/our local establishment. I just did Point of View on Sunday with my boy Bobby Bunsen, where we did a watch along of the MLW War Game show. It was such a fun time to hang out with him for a couple hours, talk wrestling, and talk about the show and everything else. You can go check out the episode of Marvel Talk we did last week with our boy Humanoid Andreas. Joined us, me and Ed, there for the Avengers review. So please go check that out. You can go to OLE and check out on the YouTube page and check out Sword Hammer. My debut my debut single, Sword Hammer, is up there with the backing vocals of the wonderful Melball on there.
I gave you the lyrics.
Yeah,
I gave you the lyrics. You made the song.
Hey, you're in the song though.
I am giggling in the bottom, like.
Yeah. And all that at twitch.tv/our local establishment and youtube.com/our local establishment. Stay tuned this week. Lots of great content starting. There's content Tuesday, then there's lots of content Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and probably Monday, and so much forward of all the great stuff. All the coverage that we're going to be doing for WrestleMania, ROH, Stardom, and everything else that we're going to be covering this weekend. NXT, it's all going to be covered this weekend over at our local establishment on Twitch, YouTube, and all the other socials they have out there. So go check them out. Lastly, I want to thank our boy Mike the Ref for Backbreaker Video, simulcasting all the great stuff. If you're watching over there, thank you so very much. Please give a like, subscribe, and all that stuff to the Backbreaker Video channel. If you want to see his live content, go to twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. You can see his AEW watch along every Wednesday and Saturday, and pay-per-view Sundays. And then you can also see all his great live gaming stuff that he does there all the other days of the week. So check those out. And if you want to see replays of his gaming content, go to youtube.com/backbreaker_gaming, where you can find stuff from him, Mr. PJC, man whose sticker I still haven't picked up, our friend Rick Jules, and their freaking guest, the wonderful Kayla J.
Kayla J. Kayla J. Kayla J. Kayla J. We love Kayla J.
Yes, we do. Melball, where can they find you?
If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can follow her on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can follow her on everything else: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball Collins. You can also find her, as Andre mentioned, on our local establishment, Japanese Wrestling Update, on Fridays at around 8 p.m. Mountain Time, unless it's not. And then we'll let you know on socials.
Yeah, this week we couldn't. Sorry.
No, we were busy. We were at this show. We had stuff to do. You can also catch her on Astrid Pizarro's YouTube channel, where we do our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase. We were supposed to do it on Friday, but we were just not feeling it, so we're probably going to do it next week, because Astrid's going to be super busy with WrestleMania coverage this weekend. That being said, though, we will have a lot more incredible news to give you then, post-WrestleMania, so stay tuned to see when we are next up for that. If you're wanting to go to an LPW show, you can go to lovewrestling.ca, where you can find the link to their ticket purchasing there. The ticket prices depend on where you're going. If you're going general, If you're going VIP, I believe VIPs go really, really quick. So you guys got to get on that if you want to get tickets for that. And you can also find a link to their school, which is clandestinewrestlingsociety.com. Didn't know they had their own site. I thought they were just linked on LPW. Moving on, if you want to be a professional wrestler, if you want to learn how to do management, reffing, all that awesome stuff within the ring, Clandestine Wrestling Society. You have something else there?
Yeah, if you want to watch
this is what they're on,
LPW,
yeah.
I'll do. You want me to? If you want to watch
Yeah,
LPW,
I don't know this at all.
go to independentwrestling.tv for all the great LPW content there. All the back catalog's all there. The new shows are live every time they go live. They go live on Independent Wrestling TV, and then they do come down for a bit, and then they go back up a few days later. So you can go check the replays out over there. And then lots of other great independent wrestling is over there. Independentwrestling.tv, $10 a month. Check them out.
Awesome sauce and possum. So, Andre, my trusted friend and colleague, do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
I just want to say thank you so very much for tuning in. If you're listening to us on Sunday's main event, please give us a 5-star review and like it. I don't know if you can. I don't know if some have likes and not. So give us the like. If you want to support Sunday's main event, go to patreon.com/SNME radio. Also, and if you're watching us on either Backbreaker Video or Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, please give us a like to the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below because we love hearing from you. We love talking to you about professional wrestling. Don't forget to share us out to all your friends, family, creatures from the Black Lagoon, and also don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Big dog. Creatures from the Black Lagoon. That's a little terrifying.
Hello.
You're spinkier. Very weird. And that being said, I am your Melball. Over there is Andre. We will see you next time.